Following the War of the Insurgency, the citizens of the nation-state became angry and polarized over the policies leading to and the execution of that war. Society was evenly divided between the recessive and progressive ideologies and the elite and working classes. This resulted in election of parliamentary assemblies that were partisan to the point of rendering government impotent. As the government failed to stem the tide of anarchy, both parties agreed to cede management of the nation-state to a third-party group of expert high administrators referred to as the Secretary Cadre.
There are fires in inner city tonight.
Like just about every other night.
Why do they burn where they live?
I don't know.
Why are you up and dressed?
New day's about to break. I want to see it in.
The nature of time is, as each day ends, a new one begins. That you should wish to see this day in can only mean that you are referring to the term new day as a metaphor.
You could say that.
As your spouse, I should be advised of all your positions so that I may address them properly when queried. I have not been advised as to a new day.
I realize I've breached our agreement, but it was necessary. This way, no one can assign culpability to you in regards to events to come.
Is there deceit at hand?
Marcus, it's 5 o'clock. What do they want? This is ridiculous. I can't possibly get back to sleep now. All of a sudden, it's every single morning. Every single morning, there is some tragedy that can't wait another hour for attention. Look at me. I'm only 80 years old. I need to get my sleep if I want to keep my looks.
I'm sure it's something important.
Oh. It always is. You might have the nation state to occupy your concerns, but I have my future to worry about. Sacrificing your life to the miserable masses may be your idea of a meaningful existence, but it's not mine.
Politicians and military brass had so botched the execution of the war that the nation-state was in severe danger of falling. A young military-bred commandant, designated SLAG, led a coup d'etat of monogender officers. Slag personally took battlefield command and held the day. The military chiefs were infuriated and moved to court-martial Slag, but a grateful citizenry had other feelings, and designated Slag as hero of the nation-state.
Good morning, Mr. Secretary. I hope you are feeling well this morning. I'm sorry to have had to deny you 50 minutes of rest, but something has come up.
That's quite all right. There's no need to apologize, Slag. It's always wonderful to start the morning with your countenance. Do we have good news or bad?
May I be candid, Mr. Secretary?
I think you're intruding on myself while I'm taking my morning constitution. Now, if you can't be candid with someone while joining them leaving a shit, then when can you?
My comment is simply this. I do not understand why you take we in the military with such disdain.
Well, Slag, the mere fact that we're having this conversation under these circumstances should be sufficient evidence for the cause of my disdain.
The Secretary knows the necessity of protecting high-ranking government officials at all times, as well as keeping them informed of breaking information. We are, after all, at your service, sir.
Well, it's good to know if terrorists break down the door of the Constitutional Room, you all will know about it right away. It's just I can't get used to having company every time I perform a bodily function.
We only observe. We do not interfere or participate in any of your activities, including those of a personal nature. And, as all sentries assigned accompaniment details to ranking officials are monogenders, you should not feel self-conscious.
What's on your mind, Slag?
You have the meeting with the President at 11, with the Majority Leader at 14, and a personal staff meeting at 16. Also, may I remind the Secretary that he is remiss in his weekly exercise schedule by 42 minutes. And you have a matrimonial negotiating session with your spouse's negotiator at 17:30.
Well, I didn't know about the negotiating session. My spouse didn't inform me of that. However, I can't assume it's about the dissolution of our relationship.
May I remind the Secretary that female spouses are not required to inform opposing spouses of impending negotiating sessions. I believe that is under Article 34-654B of the National Security Code covering spousal contracts of Level 1 security personnel.
Thank you, Colonel, for that interpretation of the law. Now, if that's it, possibly you could shut that damn thing off and leave me alone.
As you wish, Mr. Secretary. There is one more thing, sir. You have an appointment at 7:30 this morning for human performance evaluation.
I just had my quarterly evaluation last week. There must be some mistake.
No, Mr. Secretary, there is no mistake. The authorization codes are all in order. You will attend the session as required. I will send you the building and room number of the meeting. Good day, sir. Enjoy your privacy.
You didn't tell me that you had scheduled a session with your negotiator today.
I'm not required to tell you, you know that. If you didn't, that military thing on the video would have surely recited the statute.
My day today is extreme, and now I've got to worry about this. I would have liked more time to prepare.
There's nothing to prepare, Marcus. The negotiation is not for renewal, but for premature dissolution. I'm sorry. I want out.
I thought you would at least give me the opportunity to offer up proposed improvements. I'm not a bad husband.
It's not you, Marcus. It's your position.
I love you.
Don't be ridiculous. It's not becoming a man in your position to grovel like that over childish emotionalisms. Our marriage might be over, but I insist you maintain decorum.
All right. I have become accustomed to your presence.
As have I yours. I believe you said in one of your speeches, all emotions and desires in the end must yield to practicality. It is not practical for us to renew our relationship.
I will resign my position.
That would not work. I married you as a secretary. That's what I expect you to be. Anything less would be a great disappointment.
But you despise the imposition the position brings.
Yes, I do. That's the impossible conundrum of our relationship. I relish the prestige and financial rewards of being a secretary's spouse, but I detest the impositions. It's a hopeless situation.